My name is McCall. I'm one of the coaches here at the Multifamily Mindset. Team building is my specialty, but I kind of been shifting a lot into like the sponsor relation and the networking calls. Those are definitely two things that I'm super passionate about, so I like it. But to be honest, you can call about anything. So I will chat all day. So again, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I know that we get people all the time that are new. And if you are new and have not, or maybe should I ask if you have attended? Either way, I definitely want to fill you in. I will let you guys know. If you have attended the sponsor prep, the very first one we had, it's a lot of, the good, same information. If you have not attended it, and you plan on working with sponsors, no matter what, I think it's always good. It's always good to refresh as well. So what a sponsor is, I want to ask and see if, and not Rachel may not answer, but anyone else that is not driving, actually, who is that? Maggie, you cannot answer either, but you're in a Tesla, aren't you? That's like hands-free, something like that. No. Anyways, do you know what a sponsor is? I should have made up a poll, but I didn't. But who here, even if you have your cameras off and you can type in the chat or anything, do you know what a sponsor, who they are and what they do for our team? A little bit of participation, if you will. Let me make sure I open the chat so I can see. So please give descriptions, not tell me yes or no. Tell me who they are and maybe not a person by name, but the definition of a sponsor and what their role is on our team. I want to hear what your guys' impression or thought process is so we can make sure we're all on the same page. They co-sign a guarantor, good ones, loan guarantor, team lead. I like it. They help give credibility and also help bring like-minded people to the team. Yes. No, I got you, Kim. Totally got you. I don't know if anyone's seen Freddie's post about his wife being an entrepreneur, or he's an entrepreneur and his wife is an esthetician. You guys read that? I was like, yes, those are very words that even entrepreneur, still like spell check, best friend. And yes, a partner. Okay. We will not judge on spelling, just so you guys know. So we will love you anyways, Kim. So yes, good. Thank you guys. These are all very great answers. They partner with us. They give us credibility. Yes, they sign on the loan. They lead our team 100%. I'm a very passionate person when it comes to sponsors, not just sponsors, but like hand holding. Like specifically, I want someone to show me line by line. And I'm a very big believer that like the multifamily mindset, like our role as an educational company is to help prepare you to run with these sponsors, with these leads, these exceptional or like these industry professionals that are at this level, and we're here, and there's this gap, this learning gap from just starting to being on, when you also if you guys want to know like the qualifications too with the sponsors, like they have to have the net worth and liquidity, they have to have the experience that we mentioned. So there's like requirements to become a sponsor. So to be here, you've had to have done some business for a little while, and so there's this gap from just starting and then here. So I feel like we're just this bridge. Like we're here to help equip and educate, push you in this direction that will get you to when you are amongst these peers, and they're your peers and partners on deals, that you will take off and run with them. So it's amazing. So that's my view on how to work with sponsor. Like my goal even is to help prepare you guys and be ready to take that on. So we are on the same page when it comes to the definition of sponsor. Let me see. I do want to make sure that, throughout this call, we will touch on how preparation is the utmost importance. I will actually, let me share real quick too about the origin of this call. I used to do this with one-on-one when students would get on my calendar and they would ask me, Kim, how do I work with sponsors, right? Because it wasn't like, not that we didn't publicize, we'd have sponsor calls, and we used to have, Jackson used to be the host, and no one really knew like, oh, here's Kim in the background, like, tying these people together. And so if it ever came up, we'd share like, oh yeah, talk to Kim. And just so you guys know, like all the coaches will know all of this, and you can reach out to your person and or me or any of us here. But there was a sponsor, like sponsor would call, they'd call me, they have my number, and they'd give me feedback. They still do. But this call was birthed because a sponsor was like, Kim, we're going over, we're prepping for the call. This is how I want it to look. These are the questions that, they want answered. And she's like, Kim, this is a teaching moment for you. Like, this is not this, I won't say there's no such thing as a dumb question, but these questions can be answered with a little bit of effort. And this is a time for you to do your job and do better educating. And I took that not as not being offended at all, but just upping my game, which in turn will reflect on you, right? Like if I can, keep learning and growing and upping myself, that's my, like, there's not a thing that I do that I don't go out and want to learn and bring back and share. So I hope, that's what we hear, right? We have these core values. We have, this community and that we build, and that is what we're here for. And so when she said that, done, like, let's do it. And so this call is born, and it was all about how to show value, how to level up our game, how to, and so it tied in with a lot of different feedback from a lot of sponsors. But the biggest thing too, like I just want to get through is like, this is a small multifamily world. You might have heard people say that if you're out there networking, you might have bumped into people that know this person that knows this person and what have you. So in this world, it truly is small. And the thing about it too is like we partner a lot in this industry. And so that's, why we know people that know people. And so I did a call before too. I think that one was on follow-up. I talked about not burning bridges. And so my goal and the value that I want to bring, like I had mentioned about just preparing people, is I think within MFM, like we want to make sure that we have the best reputation, that we produce the most amazing investors, new investors. Do we come at it from a student form? Yes, we do. But we will graduate and we are investors. Like even now we are investors. And so I want us, when we're out there in this world, this multifamily world, to, if anyone says, oh, where'd you get your education from? And you say the multifamily mindset, they'll be like, badass. Like they only produce awesome, most prepared, most valuable people there is. They're givers. They go the extra mile, and all these core values that we preach about and talk about, that we actually embody them. So anyways, I won't keep going on my soapbox, but that's the goal. And so let me get into the presentation. Again, if you're just coming in, I hope you know, sponsor prep call, got that going on. All right, I will share my screen because I've been here at the office for like an hour getting ready because I'm so excited. All right, do you guys see my screen now? Yep, okay. It's okay. I promise. There's a learning. You'll get it. Okay. So I have my Canva. So I'm trying to watch the chat, read my notes, and you will see my screen here. So weird because I can't tell. Usually I see a little green line. But all right, so here we are. Here's a sponsor prep. I do want to say, with the three things that I boil this down to when we're going through it, it's like I want us to be hungry, humble, and coachable. Like after, like I hear this feedback time and time again, like we've got to be hungry. We got to be ready to just learn and eat multifamily, sleep multifamily. Oh, I'm trying not to cuss on here, multifamily. Okay. As well as be humble, right? Like we want to make sure that, again, like the last one is coachable. Like we have to be humble enough to be coachable. Those are the people, like they will want to work with us. They will. Like this is a team oriented industry. And so if we can be coachable and hungry enough to learn, there will be no stopping us. That's for sure. So, all right, we're going to go over, again, if you've seen this, thanks for joining again. If you have not, I hope you enjoy it. We will go over the 3 C's of exceptional professionalism, due diligence, and not due diligence that you think, but I'll show you the due diligence we'll talk about. I will go over what not to do, as well as how to pitch your deal. And then we'll have the big reveal. So the first C, and there will be some participation in here, but the first C is competence. The definition is the state of having sufficient knowledge, judgment, skill, or strength. And so in the chat, which I do have open, please drop some examples of competence in the multifamily industry. So competence is a great creator of confidence, and that will tie into knowledge, market knowledge. Yes, good. Yes, for sure. Understanding this is a whole. Even though I was in real estate before, and it was just flipping, that's a whole new language. Action, underwriting, I love it. Knowing key terms, vocab. Yep, industry terms. So those are great things. Just knowing too, like so when you knowledge, judgment, skill, strength. So when you have the skills, right? Underwriting, right? Jordan is very skillful, and she can have that skills because she's competent. So good research, yep, underwriting, no mistakes, technical, fundamental. So yes, this is super important. If you know what you know, you will have confidence. And that is one of the C's, confidence. Basic business knowledge, that is good. And people skills. Whew, I can tell you some stories on some people skills too. I've seen people like not have people skill. Oh man, please don't talk to that person like that. They're actually one of your investors. So anyways, confidence, let's definitely touch on that. The definition is a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. So the important key to success is self-confidence. An important key to self-confidence is preparation. And that's what we're here for. So wasn't you, Enrique? But for sure, I want to hear, do you guys know, or please share in the chat too, an example of confidence in the multifamily industry? I want to know what does confidence look like in the multifamily industry?
Well, I do have the total international scope index.
Nobody offering help, not being afraid to make a mistake, calling a broker for the first time, introducing yourself. Yes. Willing to say I don't know, and then find the answer to follow up. Yes, it takes a lot of confidence to say I don't know. And it is true. And it's okay, because that's just learning, and that's what we do. Yep, trying again. Strong people in network, for sure. I want to make sure that you guys know, like, kind of like the competence too, kind of ties in about, is your research accurate? Are you confident about that? Do you believe in your resources? Things like that, right? There's constant learning, there's constant, from everywhere. I hope you guys know, like, we are here for you, and we will even provide other resources, because I'm a big believer in, like, we should be learning everywhere, any chance I get. So marketing themselves and their business on social media, online. So for sure, not afraid to ask questions. Absolutely. Vulnerability, you have to have confidence to be vulnerable, 1000%. So that's a good one. All right, the last thing.
Add something really quick to that. That quote talks about preparation, and I think, especially like where I stand in like the deal flow of things, is it really comes down to that preparation. Like if I hop on a call, with a sponsor, with an investor, with really anybody, and I haven't properly prepared, I don't know my underwriting, I don't know my business plan, it makes that really hard to have that conversation. So preparing, before you go into these conversations, and preparing to the best of your ability is going to help you feel that confidence. When I put together a business plan, I want to know that I have the data to back that, to say, well, this is why we're doing this. And that preparation helps me so much to have that confidence when moving forward with these multi-million-dollar deals, because they can be scary sometimes.
Absolutely. That 100%. Thank you, Jordan, for giving me.
If I could add one thing to that, it would just be that, also not only that you've prepared, but be open to, the idea that if they ask you a question and you don't have the answer, you may have prepared very well, but the sponsor may ask you some questions that you don't have the answers to. Don't be cocky and try to make something up, right? That's the opportunity to say, you know what, that's a really good question. I'm sorry, I didn't look that up, but I will get to that, and I'll get that right back to you. You're much better off doing it that way.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Thank you, ladies. So glad you guys. I was wondering too. I knew Jordan was gonna be here. Well, I wasn't sure, but she said yeah. And then Amanda, thank you guys so much. I was like, you guys have such good input. So that is good. I hope everyone is taking notes for sure. Oh, here's gonna see that. All right. And the last C is certainty. I shared last night, like, I couldn't find any positive quote on certainty. It was crazy. These C's were definitely inspired by a sponsor as well, and she's like, teach these things. Like, okay, I get it. And so it was a pump. I mean, I was getting my butt chewed, but it was like yes, anything I can learn and to bring it back and to make you guys better, I will share, so you don't have to go through that. So certainty, the definition is the quality of being consistently good or accurately true. And it's so odd. Like every quote I looked up was like, just you can never be certain. You can never be certain. Like, okay, like maybe we can't be 100% certain, but if we are consistently good, if I am good, like I have my market research done, like I don't know why, maybe because I'm looking right at your face, but like underwriting comes to mind. If I am consistently good at my numbers, and I bring it to my coach and my underwriting coach, and I say, can you check these? And they look at them like, oh, this actually looks good. You're not, winging the mill rate. You're not just typing in, 2% on top of the seller's insurance or whatever. If you are consistently good, like, then you should have that confidence that we talked about, that you're certain, right? I'm not fake. I'm not, it's like, it is a sure thing. So these are like, when I looked up this synonyms, I present facts. I am reliable. So certainty, yeah, I'm already giving it up. Please share some ways in multifamily that you guys already know. Another way to put mastery of a skill, doing the work, and following your coach's knowledge. Certain, yes, certain for positive results, 100%. So just knowing your work, knowing your work is accurate, knowing that your skill, like I'm consistently, especially like practicing underwriting. I'm consistently underwriting. I'm practicing. So therefore, it's going to look better when I'm finished, right? Like you can't just now. He's not on here, I don't think. But there's a student. They're like, Kim, can you go over underwriting with me? Sure, I will. 100%. I will get on a call. I say, if you want to go over the dumb stuff, do it with me before you get on with the underwriting coaches. Yeah. So, but this time he asked if we can walk through a deal. Of course I will. I get it. Well, it took us days. So like now it's been a while. I am super, look, they train us here, do what you love. That hasn't been one of them for a while. So don't get on that unless you want back-to-back calls with Kim because they will take us forever. But yes, just, making sure that you are a sure thing for sure. So sure, it's a lot of sures here. So we're going to go over due diligence in a way that I hope you guys know that you can. So in the due diligence that I want you guys to do is on some people. I mean, is it a nice way of saying stalking? Like maybe. I don't want you guys to be crazy, but I do want you to do your homework. So, and this is all for a reason. Again, this was inspired by feedback from sponsors. So I'm just the messenger and I hope it gets through. So when you are doing your fact checking and your research on people, where can I go? What can I do? Well, you can search people's name in podcasts and it will pop up. You can, of course, look, find them on social media. They'll probably have a link to their website. Track them down. A lot of them are on LinkedIn. Like this is a professional business. And so that's a great place that you will see these sponsors, these potential teammates, these people that we're going to have on our deals. Any YouTube interviews, and my personal favorite, if you can talk to people that have what's the word I'm looking for? A referral. They know you. Remember, we talked about that reputation. Remember, we talked about that small multifamily world. These are because people will ask. They will. When I've been on calls with investors with my sponsor, and they were like, I need a couple referrals. People that have worked with you in this business. It is not uncommon. Some people ask me, Kim, is it okay? Is it okay if I ask for a referral? Absolutely. We're in the business now, people, that it's not, for me, it's not single family anymore. It's not 10,000 here, 30,000 there. We're in the business of syndication, which is hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. When we get in the syndication, we bring all of our investors in. Depending your raise, it could be millions of dollars. So you are going to want a personal referral. So find out all you can do. Thank you, Nancy. Like 100%. So we will talk about, next too about like we're going to dive into some more due diligence stuff and things to look for. But let's just dive in. I'll show you because I will go on down a rabbit hole and I'll forget to have it up. So when you're doing this due diligence, you want to get on. You want to read their website, like we talked about, every word. Like we are dissecting. Like not people think, 3 to 5 years is not a long time. Like it's okay. It's okay. I just want a deal, and I'll work with anyone. And it's like, dude, don't sell your soul to the devil to get on a multifamily deal. Like just don't. Like good things come to those who wait. So read their website, listen to their podcast, listen to any interviews, get referrals, maybe more than one on that person. So when you do that, we want to professional, personal. I'm telling you, 3 years doesn't sound like a long time, but it is. It is. To ask me 2 years later in one of the deals I'm in, and I'm ready to get back. All right. All jokes aside, 2 years, 2 years, and is not a long time, and I feel it. So, but let's learn about them professionally. Let's learn about them personally. Know their why. This is all things like I want you to do before you get on the phone with them, before you reach out to them, before you have a deal that you need sponsored, before you submit an LOI that you want them to walk you across the finish line with. Okay, get as much information, and it's all. Let me keep going down the list. I'll keep going. So if you can know their why, know their interests. Okay, remember that part. Know their interests. Learn about their core values. Learn their role. If you can come and you know what their role is in this industry, I mean, that should, it's going to tie into what their interest and core values, I promise. So I'll tell you. But you will have a set. You're not going to, you want to know about them as much as you can before you get on the phone with them. Know their unique qualities, already know their buying criteria. If you don't know how, look at their websites, look at their portfolio, look for the common theme. Okay. Can somebody tell me here in the chat? Let's hear. When we come to multifamily, we usually want two things. We want financial freedom and freedom of what? Who can tell me? We're talking, yes. Oh, hell yeah. You guys are on it today. We want freedom of time. So when we are on the call with them, remember that is their freedom. You are taking away their freedom when you're on the call. So how can I make sure I'm not wasting their time? How can I make sure I'm not stealing and taking that time and wasting it? So making sure, come so prepared that you can get meaty. You can just it's so the, again, this is from a sponsor right out of her mouth. She said, Kim, if somebody was going for a job interview, they would have to do their research. Again, let me share my personal testimony. When here's the multifamily mindset. And I was just like everyone else, and I heard Tyler speak at a 3-day. And I did everything he said, and everything he said came true. When he said you could be on multifamily deals, all you have to do is add value. You don't have to have a dollar in the deal. You don't have to invest in a deal. Other people's money. And first, of course, I don't know, maybe I'm kind of skeptical. But he said, all you have to do is add value. Okay, that's all I got. I didn't have any more money. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a mommy and a daddy or anybody else. But I can add value. How do I add value? I have no fucking idea. But I'm going to figure it out. I will figure it out. And that's what I did. So MFM is here. And MFM talks about positivity, love, and service. Tyler never says anything that we can't cuss, right? Because we all know him. We talk about our core values. We talk about belief, leading by example, going the extra mile, service over self, positivity, love, that we are a team, and having fun. That's always my favorite one. Oh, thank you, Lena. But I'll tell you what. I knew about this company. I knew about their core values. I knew, of course, that we're in multifamily, and I knew that we were growth. The mindset thing was what I needed, because where I come from, people don't think like me. They weren't trying to grow, and you have to surround yourself with like-minded people. And so here, when I went to the 3-day, I was one of the people that he's like, have you read this book? Have you read this book? And my hand was, yep. I was already reading the books that he said before we got to the 3-day. So I knew, this is it. This is where I want to be, because they're already on what I'm on. Okay, I think I found my people. This is my, I'm from a little Indian reservation in Washington State. This is my tribe. This is where I'm trying to find my people. And it was about the mindset, and it was about growth. And so when we're here and we're looking and we're doing partnering with these people that are in the same realm, they are growing, they are pushing, they are boss, they are exceptional. And that's what we are here to do, is to be exceptional and teach you how to be exceptional and just keep going. So when we are prepared, our credibility rises. They will oh, somebody told me, somebody called me and said, Kim, I heard you on your sponsor prep call, and you told the same thing to me that you did all these other people. Now, how am I going to stand out? Well, I got on there. I listened to a podcast. How many? Well, I listened to one or two. So okay. How many did they have? I counted. This was on the sponsor call prep for Quatch. How many podcasts there are? And don't look. I know we have lives. I know we have to cook dinner. I know we have kids and work and our own businesses and all this stuff. But I also know that we drive, we take showers, we cook dinner. I was feeding this stuff into my head any chance I got. Any chance, I will listen to a podcast. I will read that book I heard an interview. He mentioned this book. I'm going to go read it. Someone asked on the Facebook, or how do you have time to read? I will find a time. Well, when I do audio, but just in general. So if our credibility rises, so how many podcasts were they on? I think I counted. It was 63 or something. Go listen to them. And maybe you don't have time to listen to 63 podcasts. I get it. But listen to as many as you can. Do as much research as you can. When you come, you will stand out, because everyone else is just going to take the shortcut, right? The water takes the path of least resistance. So let me go listen to one episode, maybe two, and think I'm going to stand out. Or and then when you're listening, you pick out those points that they say that that stuck with you and you remember, and when you talk to them, you bring those up. Oh, I had one the other day. I was like, oh, what's up? I won't get into what I said because I'm sure it's not personal. It's out there. Anyways, I was listening to a podcast. I heard Mo say something. I texted him. I was like, oh, okay, this what you're about? He's like, oh, where'd you hear that at? I was like, well, your podcast. Oh, you're listening. Of course. Like people say, how do you follow up with your sponsors, Kim? How do you keep these relationships alive? Well, I'm also a very big advocate of social media because I do have 5 kids and I do have a house and a husband and all this stuff I have to do. So I follow up on social media. We talk about networking. We talk about relationships. I should probably put a slide in here all about follow up. My bad. I will do that the next one. Know as much about these people as you can. Just know. All right. Now to the what not to do. 100% feedback from sponsors' mouths themselves, guys. I'm not making this up. This is not my content. I just put it pretty on Canva for you. They have told me this to my face. Well, maybe Zoom face and phone calls. This is what not to do. Do not reach out in time of crisis. Does anybody know what crisis is here? It happens a lot on Facebook. Anyone give me an example of what you think a time of crisis would be? Come on, Lenny. Somebody has an answer out there. Needing something? Yes, Jordan. Thank you. We read it all the time. And I will tell you, they talk crap. Oh my God. They talk about Kim. And then guess who gets their ass chewed? Yours truly. Don't let your students reach out to me in time of crisis. You will get blocked. You will get on their blacklist. Remember that whole reputation I keep alluding back to? Don't do it. Well, we should touch on that too. We should definitely touch on that. But time of crisis, when we see posts in the Facebook chat talking about I have an LOI accepted or due tomorrow, somebody sponsor me, good Lord, that is the biggest turnoff. I don't even know you. Again, we're talking not about just hundreds of thousands, but millions of dollars. Okay, so it's not a joke. This is not a game. I know sometimes we talk about it like, oh, it's how you play the game, or I know Robert Kiyosaki's like, it's always, think of it like okay, if you're Robert Kiyosaki, you can, but the rest of us, let's just keep grinding until we get there. But I'm just kidding. I just always like, oh my gosh, did he always think that like that? But do not reach out in time of crisis. We should hit that. Do you want it? Should we bring it up right now? That is the one thing. Remember, Ryan just said on the call the other day that I forgot to put in here.
Go ahead, Kim.
So, spoke to another sponsor. All of us were just on the call with him the other day. He's like, guys, you better tell our people not to be, he's like, the biggest concern of a sponsor is they want to know what your plan is. What is your plan? So if you come to a sponsor with a 412 unit deal and you want them to sign on the loan, again, do you guys remember the requirements? Net worth, liquidity, experience, all that. He's like, what is the plan? Do you guys have a plan? And that's a good freaking plan. I need to take my own damn notes. Don't let me forget, guys. I need to add this one in there. But do you have a plan? Because when you bring a deal to a sponsor, they're going to want to know that. So if the raise is, it's 412, I mean, the purchase price has got to be what, 55? The raise has got to be what, $30 million? Something, we've seen it. Ask Jay. Yeah,
I don't even know how to respond to that.
I get it. Am I wearing my shirt today? I get it, right? We think bigger here, and that's fine. We can, but have a plan. Don't come to them with an LOI accepted or a day before the LOI needs to be accepted and ask them, and you haven't even thought about where the money's coming from. So again, I'll definitely add it to here, but have a plan. And we can talk about, if you need to talk about plans, we can talk about plans. But let's talk about it before you get on a call with them, is all I'm trying to say.
Kim, real quick, I wanted to add to that. In my opinion, it's selfish. Like when you're thinking about it, from a sponsor's perspective, they're in this industry, they're working in this industry. They have other deals they're looking at. Sometimes, a lot of the sponsors I'm working with have, 4 to 5 to 10 deals going on all at once. What makes you think that, your deal is more important or, a better deal than all these other things that they're working on as well? You can't expect, that they're going to, be able to, or, have the resources to raise, all of this money when they have other things they're working on as well. We talk about adding value, and yes, bringing deals is adding value, but also, understanding that in reality, they're adding value to you and your team. They're coming in and, helping you in a sense to close these deals, to build your credibility. So what are you doing to help them? And how are you coming prepared to, one, not waste their time, but two, also understanding that, you're not the only fish in the sea. There's a lot of other people out there that are doing the same thing that you're doing. And, if think of it, from yourself. If somebody were to come to you and say, hey, I have this amazing deal and I have all the money raised, I know I've got, or I have, a plan to raise all this money. I've got these investors with this amount of money. I would love for you to be part of it. Or if somebody came to you and said, hey, I have this deal. I have absolutely nothing. Like, here you go, finish it. Like, think of it in your own perspective. What's going to sound more appealing to you? Obviously the one that has a plan, obviously the one that, put their due diligence into it and are bringing you a solid business plan.
Real quick, Lenny, just Lena, just so you know, like we could talk about business plan on another call probably. I want to make sure that, there's a difference between a business plan, say like with our underwriting and what we're going to do with the property, and then a plan of a raise. Because I especially wanted to address the raise because Amanda pointed out, like some people come with these astronomical sized properties, and I wanted to touch with the raise on that. So I hope that cleared it up. There's a couple differences, but yeah. And if anyone want to get on my calendar,
I would also add to that too. It's not just the raise. The raise is a big piece of it, but it's also, recognize that sponsors, they have to have, as Kim said, they have to have assets equivalent to the loan. They have to have, liquidity, 10% of the loan liquid post close. So they have requirements that they have to meet, and the larger the deal, the smaller the pool of available sponsors who are even going to be able to qualify for that. So in this case, something that big, you may need more than one sponsor to come in. And then, of course, they need to make sure that they like working together. And now you've got multiple people making decisions, and of course, who's going to handle the raise, the loan. There's a lot of moving parts. Also, I would add, sorry, Lenny, to cut you off, but I would add too that sponsors also want to know who is the team. Who else is on the team? What are you guys' roles, right? Who are they going to be working with, right? So you bring them a deal. Who else are they getting in bed with for the next 3 to 7 years?
Yeah. Perfect. Is that aligned with what you're going to say, or do you want to drop your question in the chat, Lenny?
Oh, I just want to add, it says do not reach out to them in time of crisis. I'm going to add that don't reach out to them just to offer like, hey, can you sponsor a deal? If they've never heard from you before, or if you've not introduced them or yourself to them, they won't even look at the email. So my strong suggestion to all of you, there's 40 on here that are new, and I wouldn't jump the gun. What you need to do is build a relationship with them first, so that when you send them an email saying, oh, I've got a deal, this property, would you mind taking a look at it? Because if you've never interacted with them before, they're not going to look at the email, is what I'm going to strongly suggest. So if you're stalking them, here are the 3 ways that I would suggest you to know them. Is if they post anything on any of their social medias and you can help them, like if they post a challenge, hey, does anybody know a contractor or somebody in this market or whatever, and you can solve that for them, they will remember you. Okay. Or even like a restaurant, if they're traveling to a certain area and they want recommendations. That's one way. The second is find like a hobby or something in common with them and let that be your connection process. And then third, which I find to be the most likely way for them to actually know who you are, is they travel a lot. And if they're in your market, either taking a look at a property or speaking at a conference, go meet them in person. Because if you meet them in person, hey, when you send an email to them, we met at Peak Partnership or Ultimate Partnering or Fund Launch, and we talked about this. And that's the way to do it. If they're going to be in your market and they're just trying to like, hey, offer to take them to lunch. Hey, I saw that you're going to be here. Would you happen to have, a little bit of time to grab a coffee or go to lunch? You have to realize there are 40 of you on here. There are 3,000 of us students in MM. We're all competing for the same sponsors. And so that's you. If you don't stand out among the 3,000, it's going to be tough for you for them to sponsor you. And that's what I want to share with the new folks on here. Nancy has gone through the same stuff that I'm going through. It's not easy to get a sponsor. I'll just tell you that right now. So you have to be able to build that relationship and stand out and offer them some value, not just a great deal.
Thank you, Lenny. I don't know if there's the internet. Like, I hope everyone got that. It seemed a little bit like Yes, 100%. I was touching. I forgot to hit it all about when they said, "How do you keep up? How do you follow up?" Social media. Did we put that like social media? Oh God, I need to think about just that. I put it on their website and stuff. And this one, social media. Like if they have a post that has anything to do with multifamily or something positive, something growth, something business oriented, anything, like share it because that's going to help you build credibility. It's going to get them more views. So like I will sing the praises. I'll tell you another story, right? Like I a stay-at-home mom with 5. I did not get out much. Like I did not want to get out much because I have this whole tribe that I'm packing around, and they could be everywhere, and they will sit on your lap and hold you and all that. So anyway, I'd post consistently. There's things that we need to do consistently. Sorry. It's not just one time. It's not just, I counted it. I tallied up all my posts that I did. I think it was 73. Before I became a coach on the MFM Facebook page, I think it was 73 posts. And that's consistent, right? It's a little over one a week for the year. And when the time came, there's a sponsor. I'm sure you guys will watch any replays because I was suggesting. She says, matter of fact, don't call me. Just send me your underwriting because there's some people that are super business, and that's okay. We have to know who and how these people want to be worked with. And so if it's not always building a relationship, so we know who she is. It's Vanessa. She'll be like, just straight up reach out and say, hey, I got a deal. Can you take a look? There's some people, now she has people that kind of vets them for her. So there's some people that like to be worked with in different ways, and that's going to be on us to figure out how. And sometimes it can be tricky, and sometimes you're going to call and you're going to be mad. One, I think I don't think I have it in here, but I did say don't get offended. So what? Like, let me just hit this again real quick. The 73 posts that I did because it was consistent on social media. The first time I met my sponsor on this, like my very first sponsor, she said, Kim, or she's like, are you that mom on Facebook with 5 kids? And I was like, yes, I am. Like I had no idea who she was. She didn't know. She seen me because I was consistently posting. And when I did that, she could remember. So from that day on, I left my 5 kids up on that background photo because it's building commonality. She has 5 children. And so that was this thing that helped bring us together because we had something in common other than multifamily. So it does, whether it's a hobby, whether it's 5 kids, whether it's what I have a student that would be in ping pong tournaments with his broker. So there's relationships. We say it all the time from everyone. It's a relationship-based business, whether it's brokers, investors, sponsors, each other, right? We have to have something in common. It's in there way down here. Find commonality beyond multifamily. So definitely key. Don't forget that part. That was in knowing their interests, learning about their core values, tying it in together to make sure you have something in common beyond multifamily. All right, real quick. I know it's getting time, and Jay's got a wedding to go to. So don't reach out in time of crisis. When you do call them, you need to know who you're talking to. So don't go in there and be like, oh, tell me about yourself. Like that's a big turnoff. They said, like, what? Okay, I guess we'll chat soon. Well, I gotta go. Like, don't. So that whole doing the due diligence part is prepping you to so you know who you're talking to. You don't have to waste your time on small talk. Again, we're in this business for freedom of time, and we're wasting nobody's. Do not call. Don't go into the call without knowing what you're looking for. Again, if you're looking at their portfolio, if you're finding different things, you find that common theme, so you know what they're looking for. If you have clarifications, maybe you want to say, hey, are you open to new things? Whatever the case may be, but have an idea, right? Like just know something to where we're not showing empty-handed. Because when we show up empty-handed, we're like, gimme. And we're here to add value. We're here to be givers, not takers. And so that I'm going to give you, even if we're just feeding them the information that they know, that they've shared, that's okay. Because we're coming with something. Sorry, there must be cleaning time here. Do not bring a deal and only share the underwriting. So they will be you're going to share, I don't know if it's a Dropbox, a Google Drive or something. They want to know, again, they're in this industry. They're very active. They do this all the time. They will be able to look at all this information that you have gathered and know what it means, right? It might be new to us. And sometimes we might wonder, like, why do I need this? Get whatever you can get from the brokers or anything and share it. So sometimes, we have them. I don't know. I'm hoping not you guys. I used to have this mindset, like, my sponsor is going to steal this deal from me. Like, if I give her all this information, what does she need me for? Well, it's true. They don't need us. But one of my most very favorite quotes, gosh, what is that guy's name? Amanda, you'd probably know it too. But he said, to be successful in this industry, and I'm sure it's a quote somebody probably said somewhere and they used it for something else, but it's very relevant here. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. I was very uncomfortable. I worked hard. underwrote and bring it to the coach, and had to re-underwrite and bring it to the coach, and had to re-underwrite it. And I was on the brokers and emails and back and forth and insurance and lending and all this stuff. And I did a lot of work. And I was like, I'm going to just give it over. Like, I'm just going to give it to them. Like, dude, they don't want to steal your deal. I mean, if it happens, like, sorry, I can't predict the future, any of that. But from my experience and the people I talk to, they appreciate us. Like, we are a deal finder for them, right? So it's good. It's a win-win. So sometimes we're going to have to trust people that we've never met in the flesh. We're going to have to trust people but that's okay. We're doing our due diligence on them. We're getting referrals. So, we have to trust someone. We'll get there. And this one is, I say this one for last because it like numerous sponsors have called me about this, and it was, don't think your data is perfect. So if you do share your underwriting, and the last time I got a little cocky, I'll try to tone it down, but you bring it to our coaches and they say they like it, and they say but what if our coaches are not actively investing in that market? And these people are. What if there's so much, and their market knowledge of this particular market is so intense. Like, if they share feedback, you write that feedback down, and if you think it's incorrect, you don't say nothing. You go verify, right? Verify, trust but verify. We say that all the time. So if you think that you're right and that they're wrong, go verify. But the three things: we have to be humble, we have to be coachable, we have to be hungry. Like, we want to learn, and we don't humble means I don't know everything, and coachable means I will take your feedback and I will write it down, take notes, and listen, and I will implement. So please don't think it's perfect. We've talked about different on our underwriting template. The rules of thumb are there for guidance, and even then, we're getting some feedback on that from our leadership. So I don't care if it was there. I don't care if it was accurate. I don't care if it's more or less. Do your homework, because we have the competence, and then we'll come with confidence, right? So we are confident in our market research and our data, but if we get feedback, we have to be humble enough to receive it. So don't think your numbers are perfect, and let them help you. If anything, that's who we want. We do not want to be the smartest person in the room. If you're on this call and you're in this network, it's because we're here to grow. And it's because we want to, we embody this, and we want to learn, and we want to keep going. So therefore, we know that we are not supposed to be the smartest. We are in the wrong room if we're the smartest people in the room. So you want to be talking to people that can help you and push you and grow you. And so you will take their feedback and you will say thank you. Yes, thank you. So going the wrong way. Here we go. So prevention means leveling up. Don't do these things and you will level up. All right, pitching the deal. This is the fun part. We'll wrap it up, and we only have a couple minutes, so I'll go fast. So life and death of this deal pitching. So Amanda talked about the team, right? And they want to know your team. So you will pitch the crap out of your team and your deal. But they're going to want to know, hey, I have this person that does this person that does this, and this. You will sing the praises, and you will share how much value you bring. And again, I'll like Lenny mentioned, there's value that you can bring by, whether it's especially when you're meeting a restaurant recommendation or what have you. So if you are here and you're in this deal, I have value because I bring something. There's value in all sorts of ways, whether it be I was an accountant, I was a nurse, and I have a lot of investor friends, right? And that's going to be my plan to raise or whatever. Okay, you have value. If your value is being educated, I'll tell you what, I will be 100%. I'm confident, and I'll be vulnerable. I really didn't think I had value. I was a stay-at-home mom of 5, right? I've shared, what am I good at? Laundry. I love laundry because it smells delicious when you're done. And so, I put a little bit of extra soap and a little bit of extra of those sparkly things that make it smell good. I didn't think I did. I didn't think I had value that for these, exceptional, these professionals, but I was hungry. I wasn't starving. I'm not desperate, but I'm hungry to add value, and I'm hungry to learn. And that is value in itself. If you're coachable, I love it. I do. It's a one. My husband will be like, why don't you let your kids do their own laundry? They're old enough. Hey, I like laundry. I love it. So anyway, so when you do, you're going to pitch your deal, you're going to pitch your team, you're going to sing the praises. You will put together an investor caliber presentation. It doesn't have to be 50 pages, but we want something legit that they can see and read. And honestly, I'm working on that for you guys too. I want to put together a little document so we could just be fill in the blank kind of thing. And when you go, it's going to be prepared. I have talked to some sponsors about like, hey, what are the steps that we can do? They would 100% love that you have the coaches take a look at your underwriting before you bring it to them. That would be very valuable. And it would help with that credibility piece. So again, like when you're pitching the crap out of your deal, you're going to sell it so well that the sponsors are like, what? I could not pass this up. Like we will knock their socks off. And that means if you have to get on a Zoom and practice your pitch or whatever you do, do it. I won't lie. I turn on my little Zoom and I share my screen and I practice. The only thing I haven't practiced is sharing audio. So that's the one thing like, when I seen Brady's, I was like, I'm never going to share audio. I don't want to do it, but all right. But that means I'm not growing. So that would suck. But, all right. I'll say the death part, man. This is tough. Okay. There are downsides, right? So you want to share those. So the death, when you're pitching these deals, you have to know them 100%. You have to know the downsides. So know them. You will do not let them find them. Like that was a huge thing they said. She's like, do not let me find the downsides and you not tell me first. Kind of reminds me of another story. My mom would say, Kim, if you tell on yourself, you won't be as much trouble as if you would if somebody told on you. And okay, well, I do not like to be in trouble. So sure enough, something went wrong. I would run home to my mom. You might hear this, but it was really this or whatever. So tell on yourself. Tell on yourself. You know what? Let me hit these first, and then I'll give an example. So come with a list of the positives. Come with a list of the risks, right? Those downsides. They are there. We all know that this industry has risks. Come with a list, but most of all, bring the solutions. So, example. Say you like this property, the numbers look good. The only downside, well, I don't want to say only because maybe there's a couple, is maybe it has low occupancy. Maybe there's low occupancy, but hey, I already talked to a lender about this and I got this quote for this bridge loan or whatever. And here's the plan. So this is part of that plan we're talking about, not just the raise, but the business plan. The business plan in this case would be, it was a mom and pop property. They didn't spend anything on marketing, but we go in there, we touch up the landscape, we get some professional pictures and we post it on, if it's being like apartments.com or Zillow or whatever, right? Like we're gonna put marketing up, and therefore, I believe, this, and you'll know the market, what is that called, Jay? I'm drawing a blank. The market, what is that called? The renters there is increasing.
The demographic? Tenants?
Like, tenants, yeah. Like when you know that it goes up, like
population?
It increases by 3%. It's in the template, like call something.
The market rent growth?
Yes. We know that the market rent growth is it. So therefore, like, we're singing the like, there is a risk. But because of this and this, like, I have a solution, right? So if you come with that, it'll build your credibility. It'll make them like, oh, they're on it. They're on top of their game. So, all right. I think that's it as far as, just making sure that you know the risk and you have eliminated it, or at least, like have this plan. All right. I will share. It's already, oh my gosh. All right. Without further ado, drum roll on this panel. We will have Mr. Paul Williams, Mr. Rob Roswell, bringing back some favorites, Michelle Jung, and a newbie we have is Frank Catalano. I always get that wrong, but super great people. I speak with them. Well, actually, Jay's really familiar. Sorry, Jordan is very familiar with Paul too, right? Like you guys were looking at properties, wonderful people. Amanda, I'm sure you know a lot of these guys, and they are like, man, they have good hearts. They have good, and teaching hearts and patience, and it would be such an honor to work with any one of them. So, that's what I have. That's who will be here on Tuesday. Please go out and learn as much as you can. I'll share this. I'll put this in the Facebook as well. But that's what I have. I know we're at the hour. If anyone has any questions, I can answer real quick. That'd be great. If not, let's go. Because I was like, I'm going to be an hour. The last time I went over, this time I was not. Oh, thank you, Sandra. Appreciate it. I know I like her hat too. So, all right, everyone, are we good? I hope you know this is with all my heart. These people are great, and we are great, and we will make great things. So I'm super excited for you guys. Yes, good. She is awesome. She is so smart too. Michelle is so smart. All right. Well, that's all I have. So if not, I will see you guys on Tuesday. So be there. Also, Amanda has a call on Thursday. I'm so excited. Time management. So we have calls coming up next week. We will end August with a boom. It's going to be amazing. So that's all I got. Good, Amanda? Jordan?
Great job, Kim. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.